She came to Manchester hoping to re-establish her authority. Her final day speech was memorable, but not as she would have intended. An apology for June's election campaign, in which the Conservatives lost their majority, went down well.
I hold my hands up for that. I take responsibility. I led the campaign, and I am sorry.
From there, it was downhill. A prankster evaded security and handed the Prime Minister a document implying she should be fired. He was bundled out, but how did he manage to get here in the first place? Then, the Prime Minister lost her voice. It got worse.
The public sector working together, we have bounced back. We've created record numbers of jobs.
To her credit, she carried on, insisting that whilst Brexit is inevitable, Britain remains a global power.
We will meet our commitments to international security with the finest armed forces and intelligence services anywhere on the planet. We will build an outward-looking Britain that cooperates with other nations to tackle the great challenges of our time, like mass migration, modern slavery, and climate change.
It ended with letters falling off the wall behind her and sympathy from her husband.
The Prime Minister is trying to convince many doubters, both within her party and the country as a whole, that she has what it takes. She struggled at times in this speech, but she's trying to show she has a policy agenda, that she's not just an interim leader who will soon disappear.
Afterwards, ministers were quick to defend the Prime Minister.
Ms. Leadsom, a lot of doubt around the world as to whether your party's united behind the Prime Minister. Can you tell us?
We are absolutely united behind the Prime Minister. She did a brilliant speech then, really uplifting.
You could really feel the huge warmth from the hall. You know, it was difficult in terms of her cough, but, you know, the hall really showed their support for her.
Supporters will say the speech showed Theresa May at her best, her human side, her resilience. Her enemies will say it was the perfect metaphor for a Prime Minister for whom so much has gone wrong. Barnaby, Phillips, Al Jazeera, Manchester.